Nobody's perfect, babe. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, babe. We riding inside it. Here I boat Poseidon. I love to call your name, name, baby. I love to call your name. Hey y'all, can y'all hear me? Oh, I got some birthday love already. Thank you, Cell Paz. Diggable Planet. Yes. La Mera is in the house. Who else we got? Dr. Kid, what's up? Hey, Oro, Diggable Planet. Hey, King of Wands. Indigo is in the house. Trey, what's up, Trey? You said do it like it's my birthday. Yes. Hey, Undercover Astrology. Nobody's perfect, babe. Hey, Cherry, another Diggable Planet up in the house. Hey, Archangel. We riding inside it. We rock the boat, Poseidon. Name. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine. We got two Jasmines up in here, back to back. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, hey, Angela. A lot of hearts next to your name. We got Mel Diva up in here. You changed your name. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Andre. Thank you, Andre. Yes, today the 4th. Well, so for some of y'all, no, on the East Coast it's still it's 11 p.m. But my birthday is December 5th. But my solar return occurred today on December 4th, right alongside of that solar eclipse. So it's going to be interesting how the next few months of my life play out. Yes, we rock the boat, Poseidon. I love to call your name, baby. I love to call your name. Yes. Missy Elliott put that shit down on that. So it's the 5th already. That's right, because you're in the UK, Cherry. Thank you, Laboo. We got Gigi up in here. We got Femme Queen up in here. Hey, Siobhan, another Diggable Planets. Yes, I'm looking at it as a positive thing, Siobhan, with that solar eclipse coinciding with my solar return. And, with that Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius is about improvement, going beyond, expanding your horizons, all that good stuff, growth, development, also merriment, having a good time. Oh, I saved your boring life. And I was just thinking about this song before the live stream. Some of y'all old heads like me know this song. Last night a DJ saved my life, so I saved your life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Now, I'm not in the best of. I don't feel too good. I mean, I don't want to be TMI, but it is that time of the month, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. And I had to pop a couple of Tylenol PMs just to get rid of the pain. So if I sound a little sluggish, that's why. I'm a little juiced. Plus, I'm drinking my root beer right now, too. I couldn't wait, y'all. I had to crack open a root beer right now. Better root beer than actual beer. I'm telling you, if root beer had alcohol in it, like if I didn't taste the alcohol in that root beer, I would be a total lush. Yup, I gotta leave and Tylenol PM. But I ran out of a leave, so I had to settle for the Tylenol PM. They work too. You said who is that on the thumbnail? That's that damn Bilzerian. I'm going to get into him. Now, I did a video on him already, but there was an error in there, so I had to delete it. And I was like, let me just add it to my live stream tonight. So he's a Sagittarius, and he's a dark side of Sagittarius, and he's one of the perfect examples of how they can be. So I'll be including him. Cherry said, I think I have early menopause. No, nothing in 2 years. Well, you're lucky. Consider yourself lucky. All right. There's some current events. So shout out to all the Sagittarius. How many Sagittarius we got up in here? And that would include Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. If you got any of that, press 1. I feel like there's when it comes to the signs, I feel like Sagittarius is the least populated. I feel like there's more Gemini than any other sign in the world. I don't know. I never looked at the stats, but to me, you don't come across a Sagittarius every day, which makes sense because we're the centaurs, and being a centaur, to see one, it's rather rare. It's not something you're going to see every day. And, Sagittarius is extraordinary. And with extraordinary, you're not going to get that on an ordinary day. So let's see who we got up in here. I got some Sag energy. Dr. Ken, Siobhan, our angels is Sagittarius rising, Angela, Denny Tico, Jasmine again, 2 Jazz, y'all both. Oh, look at that. We got Mel Diva, Sagittarius North Node, A Young Soul, Sagittarius Moon and Rising, M. Lynette. You got Moon, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and South Node and Sag. That's some heavy Sagittarius energy. Hopefully, it enriches you instead of spoils you. And then Amira got a Sag stellium. Hey, C. Thomas, we got another diggable planet up in the house. Okay, Labu said they say Leo, Virgo, and Cancer are most common. I know there's a lot of Virgos. I know that. Oro got Sag North Node and part of fortune. Now, Cherry, you said Leo's a superior fire sign. Now, I kindly disagree. Sagittarius is superior over Leo. Now, I'm not trying to get into no battle or anything, but Leo is real good. Leo is the winner. But, Leo got this thing with the ego and stuff. I mean, Sagittarius can have an overblown ego too. But the way Leo does it with the ego, that can cripple them at times. And Sagittarius could rise above that ego, petty stuff. So I'm just saying. And they're going to say, Leo think they're superior. Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes we got to let them continue to think that. You were saying it to Indigo about Gemini? So, Natasha, you got all the Sag in your dad's family? All right, so let me get into some current events before we get into some main topics. So, the main topic tonight is going to be the dark side of Sagittarius. So, I got plenty of examples of some dark-sided Sagittarius, Dan Bilzerian being one of them. So I got some males and females, so this should be interesting. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me discuss some of this current events. So, again, we had that solar eclipse. Early this morning, it took place. 12th degree of Sagittarius. And that 12, it reinforces the themes of Sagittarius. Of course, that's growth, abundance, enrichment, improvement, freedom, justice, religion, spirituality, long distance travel. And then on the negative end, of course, things being, reckless, violent, even impatience. Again, freedom theme, but on the dark side, it could be somebody has too much freedom and they could be too free spirited. I've often had that problem. But yeah, so that 12th degree can be problematic because it does deal with sacrifice, victim. And I've dealt with both of those themes in my life because my son is at the 12th degree of Sagittarius. So the sacrifice and victim themes could be shown through the next, I'll say maybe 6 months to a year coming off of this eclipse. And then dealing with just things like foreign affairs, things like that. The truth coming out, matters concerning justice. And isn't that Ghislaine Maxwell, isn't her trial going on right now? Let me pull up what's going on with her right now because somebody asked me to discuss her. It says the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. What happened this week? And let me see if I have her chart already pulled up, because we could talk about her first. Oh, I don't think I have her. Hold on. That's the one I didn't load yet. Let me get her birthday. So she's the one associated with Jeffrey Epstein, you know, the guy that died. So she's a Capricorn, December 25th, 1961. And that 20, no, so 25. That 25 can deal with, you know, some secrets, lies, deception, even matters concerning prostitution. And that's basically what she's known for. Not being a prostitute. Well, she might have been like a high price escort. Maybe started off that way with, well, she had connections. Her father is like was real rich, but then they lost their money or something like that. And then she started procuring young girls for Jeffrey Epstein and his island and all that type of stuff. So December 25th, 1961. Let me see if I could get her birthday. I mean, trying to see. Oh, good. We got the birth time for her, 3:20 p.m. And I'm gonna be looking to see if I see any like sex trafficking aspects in her chart. Maison Lafitte, France. All right, just one second. So she's a Gemini rising. Let me pull up a picture of her, and then we'll go and get into the story real quick. She looked like that journalist. She looked a little bit like that journalist, Christina Amanpour. If y'all know who I'm talking about, just a little bit. Okay, hold on. Okay. So that's Ghislaine. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but I'm gonna pull up just some background information about this story before I get into her chart. Oh, happy belated birthday, Mimi. Okay. It says oh, come on now. Okay, it says Ghislaine Noel Mariam Maxwell, born December 25th, 1961, is a British socialite known for her association with financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Hold on. Okay. She worked for her father, Robert Maxwell, until his death in 1991. When she moved to the United States and became a close associate of Epstein, Maxwell founded a nonprofit group for the protection of oceans, the Terra Mar Project, in 2012. The organization announced cessation of operations on July 12, 2019, a week after the sex trafficking charges brought by New York federal prosecutors against Epstein became public. In 2020, Maxwell was charged by the U.S. federal government with the crimes of enticement of minors and sex trafficking of underage girls. Now, my question is, it seems like more people should be on trial. So I'm like, is she like the fall guy for this? Because there's that whole list of people that was on like the flight logs for Jeffrey Epstein's island. So it's interesting that she's the only one on trial. Okay, so it says the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Justice announced on July 10, 2020, that Maxwell was also under investigation in the Caribbean territory. So not only for the United States, but also the Caribbean. Maxwell is a naturalized U.S. citizen, but also retains citizenship in the UK and France. So early life. So I'm expecting her to have some energy of Sagittarius with her story. Yep, she got Venus in Sagittarius. Let me just pull up her chart. So she's a Gemini rising, Sun in Capricorn, conjoined to Mars. That Sun conjunct Mars can be a person that is prone to be violent in some cases. They could be extremely selfish. They could have some narcissistic tendencies. They could even abuse children, or there could be that sexual theme involving children with that Sun conjunct Mars. Being in Capricorn, that's showing that it could be business. It's like business arrangements, Sun conjunct Mars. And then the Mercury aspect could deal with the people that like her messengers or whatever like that. All the calls that she's making to make arrangements. Lissy said, Gemini Rising said we don't claim her. But all the calls she's making to order up these children, these young women in particular. So early life. Ghislaine Maxwell was born in 1961 in Maison Lafitte, France, the ninth and youngest child of Elizabeth, a French-born scholar, and Robert Maxwell, Czechoslovakian-born British media proprietor. Her father was from a Jewish family, whereas her mother was of Huguenot descent. Maxwell was born 2 days before a car accident that left her 15-year-old brother Michael in a prolonged coma until his death in 1967. Now that's interesting because she's a Gemini rising, and Gemini rules cars, and Gemini rules siblings. So again, it says 2 days before, Maxwell was born 2 days before a car accident that left her 15-year-old brother Michael in a prolonged coma until his death in 1967. Her mother later reflected that the accident had an effect on the entire family and surmised that Ghislaine had shown signs of anorexia while she was still a toddler. What? How are you showing signs of anorexia as a toddler? Hey, Siobhan. That's strange. So, signs of anorexia. Let's see where that's coming from. So, that would be Mercury quincunx the ascendant because of the Capricorn influence. So when you're looking at things like starvation, of course, which is anorexia basically is self-imposed starvation, you do want to look at Capricorn. You want to see if there's any Capricorn influences. And she does have Mercury in Capricorn, quincunx, that Gemini ascendant. And that is basically representing what her mother's talking about. Like she could see from the being a toddler age. But that's really strange. And she got, okay. Moving along, it says, throughout childhood, Ghislaine resided with her family in Oxford at Headington Hall, a 53-room mansion. Damn. Where the offices of the Pergamon Press, a publishing company run by Robert Maxwell, were also located. So she grew up extremely rich. Her mother said all her children were brought up as Anglicans. My bad. She began her schooling at the Oxford High School for Girls in North Oxford. Maxwell was enrolled at Eggerley Hall boarding school in Somerset at age 9. That Cancer on the 3rd is representing her attending a boarding school. Let me see. Maxwell attended Marlborough College, where she studied modern history with languages before going on out. Blah, 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 blah. So she had a very close relationship with her father. Now, relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, accounts differ on when Maxwell first met American financier Jeffrey Epstein. According to Epstein's former business partner, Stephen Hoffenberg, Robert Maxwell introduced his daughter to Epstein in the late 1980s. The Times reported that Maxwell met Epstein in the early 1990s at a New York party following a difficult breakup with Count Gianfranco Mazzoni. So she was dating a count. Maxwell had a romantic relationship with Epstein for several years in the early 1990s. So she got Virgo on the 5th with Pluto. That's hella suspect with that Pluto and Virgo on the 5th. Again, that's like sexual abuse of young people, you could say. Maxwell had a romantic relationship with Epstein for several years in the early 1990s and remained closely associated with him for decades. The nature of their relationship remains unclear. In a 2009 deposition, several of Epstein's household employees testified that Epstein referred to her as his main girlfriend, who also hired, fired, and supervised his staff. That's very Pluto and Virgo the 5th. Let me see. She has also been referred to as the lady of the house by Epstein's staff and as his aggressive assistant. In 2003, Vanity Fair profile on Epstein, author Vicky Ward said Epstein referred to Maxwell as my best friend. That would be her having Sagittarius on the 7th with Jupiter and Aquarius in the 10th, ruling the 7th house. Aquarius is friendships. Jupiter in the 10th house, that's just business. And then the Jupiter can represent the trafficking as well. Sagittarius, trafficking. So she has that in her chart where it shows that she got with a man that was into this trafficking and that she helped him. Especially with Jupiter being in trine to her Gemini ascendant. All right, so let's see. Ward also observed that Maxwell seemed to organize much of his life. That's very Jupiter in the 10th house, ruling the 7th. Politico reported that Maxwell and Epstein had friendships with several prominent individuals in elite circles of politics, academia, business, and law, including former presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, attorney Alan Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew, all these dirty people. Maxwell is known for her long-standing friendship with Prince Andrew and for having escorted him to a hookers and pimps social function in New York. She introduced Epstein to Prince Andrew, and the three often socialized together. In 2000, Maxwell and Epstein attended a party thrown by Prince Andrew at the Queen Sandringham House estate in Norfolk, England, reportedly for Maxwell's 39th birthday. In November 2019 interview with the BBC, Prince Andrew confirmed that Maxwell and Epstein had attended an event at his invitation, but he denied that it was anything more than a straightforward shooting weekend. Shooting weekend? Okay. In 1995, Epstein renamed one of his companies the Ghislaine Corporation, based in Palm Beach, Florida. The company was dissolved in 1998. As a trained helicopter pilot, Maxwell also transported Epstein to his private... Damn! She was a trained helicopter pilot. His personal pilot... I didn't realize it went this far. So that Aquarius energy is representing the pilot theme. Wow. And the helicopter theme. In 2008, Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor for prostitution and served 13 months of an 18-month jail sentence. Following Epstein's release, although Maxwell continued to attend prominent social functions, she and Epstein were no longer seen together publicly. By late 2015, Maxwell had largely retreated from attending social functions. So she got her Sun and Mercury in the 8th house. Wow. The Aries put in Capricorn on the 8th house cuts. So that can deal with sex business activities involving sex. And then Mercury is ruling the 5th house. That could be underage children, you could say teens. Wow. She got Neptune in Scorpio. Scorpio's intercepted in the 6th house. So the sexual theme in terms of work is very strong. And then, like I said, that Jupiter Aquarius says it all about her being a helicopter pilot, flying him to the island and flying those girls to the island. She was in deep with this, as represented by that Neptune in Scorpio in the 6th house. She got Moon square Neptune, which is pointing to just the secrecy, the lies, and also the children theme because the moon is in Leo. So that could be, the abuse of children. Jupiter in Aquarius is squaring Neptune in Scorpio. So when you see that Aquarius square Scorpio, you always got to look at it as the truth being uncovered. So that's one of the aspects that got her caught up in the legal system. But it looks like she's the fall guy. And maybe that's how he wanted it anyway. Maybe he basically was like, she's going to take the rap for a lot of my associates or whatever. Let me see so that Venus is Sagittarius. That's one of the placements that can represent the trafficking. And especially being in the 7th house, that's like her doing it for other people, having these clients. And basically, Jeffrey Epstein is the connection. And then Venus is in trine with Uranus and Virgo. And then let me see. Venus is in sextile. Oh, that's too wide. She got Taurus intercepted in the 12th house with Venus and Sagittarius in the 7th. That very well is a sex trafficking combination with the 12th house representing the secrecy, the island theme, the prostitution theme. So, and I would think that she has a lot of money hidden somewhere with that Taurus intercepted in the 12th house. So even if she goes down, it has to do, time. And let me see how much time she's looking at. She probably still going to come out okay. All right, so let me read about arrest. So it says on December 27, 2019, Reuters reported that Maxwell was among those under the FBI investigation for facilitating Epstein. After his arrest, Maxwell was hiding and communicating with the courts only through her lawyers, who, as of the 30th of January 2020, had refused to accept on her behalf service of 3 lawsuits against her. The New York Times reported that by 2016, Maxwell was no longer being photographed at events. By 2017, her lawyers claimed before a judge that they did not know her address. They further stated that she was in London. Maxwell has a history of being unreachable during legal proceedings. During the lawsuit filed in 2017 from Ransom against Maxwell, District Judge John Codall granted a motion for alternative service on the grounds that the plaintiff's efforts to reach Maxwell were persistently thwarted. These included hiring a private investigation firm that attempted service at 3 physical addresses, sending information to several email addresses, and reaching out to the lawyers. Okay, Maxwell faced persistent allegations of procuring and sexually trafficking underage girls for Epstein and others, charges she has denied. Maxwell was arrested in Branford, New Hampshire by FBI on July 2nd, 2020, through the use of a IMSI catcher Stingray mobile phone tracking device. That's that Gemini rising, quincunx, Mercury, and Capricorn, on a phone used by her to call one of her lawyers, her husband Scott Borgeson and her sister Isabel. I'm still trying to find how much time she's facing. So one of the unnamed victims was as young as 14 years old. And that's very much that Pluto and Virgo in the 5th house. And then her being able to procure these girls, that's that Pluto trine Sun and Mercury. So Maxwell was charged with the enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury. On July 14, 2020, federal judge Allison Nathan of the Southern District of New York denied Maxwell bail after determining that her risk of fleeing are simply too great. I would agree with that. Neptune and Scorpio squaring, what is that, Jupiter and the midheaven, also squaring that moon. She is the type that will escape if she can. Now, the indictment charged that between 1994 and 1997, she assisted, facilitated, and contributed to the abuse of minor girls, despite knowing that one of the three unnamed victims was 14 years old. All right, so she's being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. Lawyers requested that Judge Nathan release her on $5 million bond with monitored home confinement while awaiting trial. Maxwell's attorney reiterated her request for bail on December 18, 2020. Her attorneys indicating that Maxwell could reside with a friend in New York, during which time she would later be under 24-hour surveillance as she awaited her July trial if she was released on bail. All right, this is too wordy. Trying to get to what's going on right now. Says it was announced in November 2021 that psychologist Elizabeth Loftus, an expert on false memory syndrome, would be called as an expert witness for the defense. Okay, here it is. If convicted, she could be imprisoned for up to 80 years. So Maxwell appeared on court. But is this trial still going on? Because it's not saying if the I guess it is, because it's not talking about any conviction or acquittal. Let me see what y'all are saying. Lissy said, I can see adult grooming manipulation from a mile away. Ooh. That's right. Epstein was an Aquarius. So there's that Aquarius connection. Sagittarius on the 7th with Jupiter in Aquarius. Also, she has the 10th degree of Sagittarius on the 7th, 10th degree of Gemini on the ascendant. That 10th degree deals with transportation, travel, you might as well say trafficking. So that 10th degree is basically showing that, yeah, she was involved in that shit. Like I said, she was in deep. And you could say that, I always say Aquarius is not really loyal on person to person level, but they can be loyal to a cause, and they can be loyal in terms of friendship. So it seemed like she was very loyal to him and his cause and all that type of stuff. It seemed like she would have did anything for him, and that's very much Sagittarius on the 7th house cuts. Hey, Moonlight Orange. Moonlight said, I see a documentary about the twins from England, France. Those socialites like to give their kids up to get abused, and the parents do it too. Yeah, it's a whole network of individuals that are like this. Mel Diva said, I just saw an interview where the daughter started mimicking her mother's eating disorders. Siobhan said, I had anorexia as a toddler. I was told I had to go to a nutritionist and everything. Wow. Ellie said, I didn't like to eat as a toddler either. You have to force me to eat. Wow. That's the thing I never understood. Those kids that don't like to eat. I've known of a few and I just don't understand it. But yeah, sometimes it be like that. Cherry said, my best mate has anorexia and she has a gorgeous body. She's 5'11" and weighs 8.5 stone. Now I don't know how the stones, you're gonna have to do the conversion to pounds, because I don't know what. Wait a minute, isn't stone, 1 stone is 14 pounds? I think so. So if you said, let me see. $14 times 8. I think it's 14. That's 112 pounds. Let me know if I'm right, Cherry. You said she had a gorgeous body before. Am I right about the Cherry? Am I right about the 1 stone is 14 pounds? Let me look it up. Yo, I was right. Yes, I was right. Hey, Salacious. Hey, Sarah. Sarah said, never been anorexic. I love food like a mother. Yeah, that's your Taurus moon. All right, so basically, Ghislaine Maxwell has guilty all over her chart. That Aquarius energy can also represent her basically organizing this network and or being part of this network of sex traffickers, you could say. And then you just look at that moon in Leo, conjoined to the North Node in Leo, and that's representing these children that are basically being procured for these elite individuals. The moon is ruling the second house, which is showing money being involved. Yeah, this is a wicked woman. Now let me see if she has a chance of getting off. So she does have Venus trine North Node in Leo. So she might, I'll just say I doubt that she gets like an 80-year sentence. She probably will be sentenced, but it probably won't be nearly as long of a term as the prosecutors are asking for. Or I'll say as those charges basically demand. She got Chiron and Pisces opposing Uranus and Pluto. And that is part of what makes her a flight risk. That's her. And that's what is part of what makes her very elusive and where she is able to just operate undercover. But also that points to the island theme as well with that Chiron and Pisces. All right, next story. Just 1 second. All right, let me pull these people up. I'm sure a lot of y'all heard about this story. Was recently in the news. Y'all know about this story? This story is crazy as shit. Anybody know who that is? Those people? They look kind of like the Hills Have Eyes kind of people. They're the Crumblies. So the boy on the left, 15 years old, he shot up a school. So let me just read about this situation because this is a crazy ass story. And the parents were on the run, but they arrested them the other day. All right. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't get the birth date for Ethan, but thanks to Cell, one of the diggable planets, she sent me information dealing with the parents. So I had the birth dates of the parents. So I'm going to look at the parents' chart. But if y'all could get the chart of Ethan Crumbly, then somebody let me know. Like, post it in the chat if you can find the birthday of Ethan Crumbly. He's only 15, so I don't know if they're publishing that information. But according to CNN, it says parents of Michigan school shooting suspect held on $500,000 bond each after manhunt. The parents of the teen accused in this week's deadly Michigan high school shooting pleaded not guilty to involuntary manslaughter charges Saturday morning, hours after police said they arrested them in Detroit warehouse following an hours-long search. A judge in Michigan's Oakland County set bond at $500,000 each for James and Jennifer Crumbly, the parents of Ethan Crumbly, the teen jailed on suspicion of killing 4 schoolmates and wounding 7 other people at Oxford High School on Tuesday. The detained couple, sitting alone in separate rooms, made their arraignment appearance by video conference with the judge, their attorneys, and county prosecutor. Both spoke little beyond saying they understood each charge, with Jennifer Crumbly appearing to cry between words and pleaded not guilty to each. During the arraignment, their attorneys stressed their clients had fully intended to turn themselves in before authorities arrested them Saturday morning and denied prosecutor assertions that their son had unrestricted access to the gun he's accused of using. James and Jennifer Crumbley had been charged Friday with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter over Tuesday's shooting and were supposed to attend an arraignment Friday afternoon. But they missed the Friday arraignment, making them fugitives and setting off a search for them. Early Saturday, police said they found the couple on the first floor of an industrial and commercial building in Detroit, some 40 miles south of the Oxford area where they live, after someone tipped police Friday night that their vehicle was nearby. They appeared to be hiding in the building. Detroit Police Chief James White said during a news conference very early Saturday, they were very distressed after they were detained, the chief said. White said he didn't know the Crumbleys' intentions, but that this isn't indicative of turning themselves in, hiding in a warehouse. White added someone let the couple into the building and said that person could face charges. They probably gave that person money. The Detroit Police Department has identified a person who guided the Crumbleys as they parked their vehicle in the back of the building where they found a law enforcement official told CNN. So they're saying we believe they were assisted in that location to get there, to get in, and we're gathering that information. Ethan Crumbley was charged Wednesday as an adult with terrorism, murder, and other counts in the shooting. Bouchard said there was clear evidence that the shooting was premeditated and that the shooter was looking forward to it. The shooting, the deadliest at the US K-12 campus since 2018, and the 32nd such attack since August 1st, claimed the lives of Madison Baldwin, age 17, Tate Myers, 16, Hannah St. Juliana, 14, and Justin Schilling, 17. Parents' attorney says the gun was locked and the son didn't have free access. But I read somewhere that the gun was in an unlocked drawer. During Saturday's arraignment, defense lawyers denied prosecutors' contentions that the parents gave Ethan Crumbley unfettered access to the gun he's accused of using. During Saturday's arraignment, McDonald said it's clear from the facts that Ethan Crumbley had total access to this weapon and that the parents didn't secure it and they allow him free access to it. When the prosecution is stating that this child has free access to a gun, that is just absolutely not true, Smith said. The court is going to see. So the couple, the parents, they withdrew $4,000 from an ATM on Friday, and they're trying to say they weren't trying to flee. The defense attorneys and the prosecutor also clashed over whether the couple were fleeing prosecution or intended to turn themselves in before they were arrested. Of course they were going to flee. Why would they need $4,000? The U.S. Marshal Service was helping local authorities search for the couple Friday and had offered a reward of up to $10,000 for their information that could lead to their arrest. Authorities publicized a description of their vehicle. Ultimately, Detroit police made the arrest after a business owner saw a woman standing near the suspect vehicle in his parking lot Friday night and called 911. All right, so let me just go over some facts real quick, some bullet points that I found in this one article that just ties it all together. So in middle school, this kid was on the bowling and soccer teams. He did not play team sports when he attended Oxford High School. He wanted to be an archaeologist, according to his half-brother, Eli Crumbley. He loves playing video games. His favorite is Minecraft. So he uploaded a video on October 3rd, 2016. A YouTube video in an account bearing his father's name shows him talking about posting a video of his homemade scarecrow. That's stupid. So on November 26, 2021, his father bought a Sig Sauer, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, 9mm handgun. On November 27, 2021, he took to Instagram to share a photo of the handgun with a caption, "Just got my new beauty today, Sig Sauer 9mm. Ask any questions, I will answer." At 10 a.m. on November 30th, 2021, his parents were called into Oxford High School for a meeting with teachers about his behavior. At 12:50 p.m., using his father's Sig Sauer 9mm handgun, he fired 30 rounds at the school, emptying two 15-round magazines, killing 4 students, namely Madison Baldwin, Justin Schilling, Tate Meyer, Hannah St. Juliana, and injuring 7 other students and 1 female teacher, then 47. Minutes later, Oakland County Sheriff's deputies arrested him. He was 15 years old and an Oxford High School sophomore when he was arrested on November 30th, 2021. So let me pull up that date. November 30th. From my understanding, it seems like the parents were like kind of encouraging the boy to like do something like this. So I guess this happened at like 12 p.m. Okay. So Mercury was conjoined to the sun that day. Mars squaring the ascendant. Moon in Libra. That was like representing that kind of sniper attack. All right. So let me pull up the father's chart first. So I don't have the birth time for the father, but he has a Leo stellium, Sun, Saturn, Venus, Mercury. Sun conjunct Saturn can produce someone that's rather controlling, can produce someone that, they could be rather hard. They could be rather severe in terms of how they approach situations. He has Sun square Chiron, and I told y'all about that Sun square Chiron. That can produce somebody that's deviant in some type of way. They don't basically follow the dictates of society, or I'll say they go against society. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the type of father that was always talking about how he hated people, because you could have somebody that has Sun conjunct Saturn and they might like just have this hatred of people in general or a certain type of people. It could be, something dealing with like politics or the way the world is. He could be one of those anti-government type of people. Not saying that's a bad thing, but he basically can have this, you could say hatred in his heart. Be that, yes, very much red flag aspect. Red flag deal breaker. Also, with that South Node could join to Chiron and Taurus, he might have been one of those survivalists. Those people, what do you call those? Those people that stockpile food and weapons and stuff like that. But it sounds maybe he was on his way to doing that, because I don't know how many guns he had, but he did recently buy a gun. And then let me see. And that Sun square Chiron could point to a wayward child too, a child that's like screwed up in some way, especially because the sun is in Leo and Leo represents children. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the father and the mother instilled in that prepper. Prepper. That's the word I'm looking for. He might be one of those preppers, or at least an aspiring prepper, and that Mars and Virgo can very much go hand in hand with being a prepper as well. He had Mars square Neptune, which is part of the reason why he fled, him and his wife. And that can just cause him to be delusional in terms of how he sees things or his approach to life. That can cause somebody to fly into a blind rage. So he might have seen his father like fly into blind rages about situations, things that he considered to be injustices, because Neptune's in Sagittarius. And that Mars square Neptune can also deal with a stolen handgun. So the fact that his son took his handgun points to that as well. You got that Cancer moon, which can make him very much a nationalist or very nationalistic. Again, he might have had this whole theme about this country's going to shits, and he might be the type that I'm locked and loaded, I'm ready to go down. So his son could have picked up a lot of that. Maybe his son was being picked on by some kids or whatever like that, and he just had it in his heart that he was going to make these kids pay. And the boy he drew like from, where's that article that I was reading? Because I think this is it. Because this is much more telling. Trying to find where they were talking about the pictures that this boy was drawing and stuff. I mean, it was already showing that he was like a disturbed kid. And one of his teachers caught him looking up, I think, ammunition on his phone. This might not be the article. So the teen went with his father to buy the gun. And again, nothing wrong with that if you are a level-headed person. But with that guy having Sun square Chiron and Mars square Neptune, he's not a level-headed person. So it says the teen accompanied his father, James Crumbly, to buy a gun at Acme Shooting Goods in the small town of Oxford. Ethan referred to it as that night on Instagram as his new beauty. The next day, his mom, Jennifer Crumbly, who once posted an open letter thanking President-elect Donald Trump for protecting my right to bear arms. Yeah, they're those type of people. Pinned her own Instagram post. Mom and son day testing out his new Christmas present, she wrote. McDonald said on Friday. Oh, so it sounds like Oh. Interesting. Let me show y'all this. So the gun was a gift for the boy. So a young soul said, I thought the son used the gun his parents bought for him as a gift. Yes. So why are they trying to say that he took his father's gun? It sounds like to me, and here's the picture right here. I'm about to show y'all. She basically told on herself on Instagram. So it says right here, the next day, his mom, Jennifer Crumbly, who once posted an open letter thanking President-elect Donald Trump for protecting my right to bear arms, pinned her own Instagram post. Mom and son day testing out his new Xmas present, she wrote. And here's his new Christmas present. Here it is. Talk about incriminating evidence. It says, by Monday, however, Ethan's new present, which was kept in an unsecured drawer in his parents' bedroom, was already causing concern at Oxford High School. A teacher found Ethan searching for ammunition on his cell phone during class and reported it to higher ups. Administrators left a voicemail for Jennifer Crumbly and followed up with an email but received no response. LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught, Jennifer texted her son. Wow, there it is. On the morning of the shooting on Tuesday, a teacher was alarmed at a drawing made by Ethan. It included a handgun with the text, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me," and a bullet with the words "blood everywhere." There were also some laughing emojis, a person who'd been shot, and the words, "My life is useless and the world is dead," McDonald said. Wow. The drawing prompted staff to remove Ethan from class, and his parents were called into the school. James and Jennifer were shown the drawing and told they had to get their son into counseling within 48 hours. Both James and Jennifer Crumbly failed to ask their son if he had his gun with him or where his gun was located and failed to inspect his backpack, McDonald said. They resisted taking Ethan home with them and left the school soon after, she said. Ethan returned to class with the handgun in his backpack. The notion that a parent could read those words in the drawing and also know that their son had access to a deadly weapon that they gave him is unconscionable, and I think it's criminal, McDonald said. Just after lunchtime that day, the sophomore student went into a bathroom with his backpack and then came out into a hallway and started shooting students at random, sending terrified teens ducking for cover and into hiding, police said. 16-year-old Tate Meyer, Hannah, Madison, and Justin died. 7 more, including a teacher, were injured. As news alerts went out about an active shooter at school, James Crumbley went straight to his home to look for his gun. McDonald said. Jennifer Crumbley texted her son, Ethan, don't do it. Wow. James then called 911 to report that his gun was missing. Now, this is the part I don't understand. I thought it was Ethan's gun. Why are they keep going back to it being the father's gun? This is confusing. Now, James then called 911 to report that his gun was missing and that his son could be the shooter. Because they already knew, and I think they put it in this boy's head. Acme Shooting Goods declined the Daily Beast request for comment on Friday. Multiple attempts to contact the Crumbleys were unsuccessful. All right, let's look at this mom's chart real quick and then we'll move on. But this is a crazy story. Yeah, I believe they were in on it too. I think they're that crazy. Oh, I think somebody sent me a Cash App. Hold on. Okay. Thank you for your Cash App, Aaron. So it looks like you sent me 2 and you got 2 questions. You said, how does my crush feel about me? All right, let's see. How does your crush feel about you? Yes, Siobhan, I was questioning that too about how that school let him stay there after that. They should immediately intervene and took him out of there. Like nowadays, you know how back in the day, like a kid would be on some dark shit and be drawing some dark pictures and stuff. Hey, Cameron, nowadays you got to take these kids seriously. Exactly, Cameron. Cameron said they ran from the police. Why the hell else would you run unless you did something wrong? Okay, Aaron, I got 5 of cups for how your crush feels about you. So that's not really a positive card in terms of feelings. It could mean that, you know, there's things he likes about you, but then there's things that he really doesn't like about you. But for the most part, I would not shoot your shot if I were you with that 5 of cups, just representing his feelings for you. And it could even mean that, I don't know, maybe he feels maybe he tried to approach you one time and you basically weren't reciprocating or whatever. But I wouldn't approach him with this 5 of cups card. And then you said you had another question. Will we go on a date after he does my tat sack? Your tat sack? You mean your tattoo Saturday? Let's see. Will you go out on a date with him after he does your... I think you mean tattoo on Saturday. Oh, yeah, you know it, Mel Diva. If it was a black kid, they would have already put him under the jail. I got the 2 of swords about the date, so I don't see that happening. Like I said, I wouldn't press the issue with this guy, especially with him having that 5 of cups representing his feelings about you. So it could, when you see that 5 of cups, it's like, okay, on one hand, they see some value in you, but on the other hand, it's like they could basically leave you where you are. Like that, you know, that I could basically pass on that. So don't press the issue. And I would say the sooner you get over this guy, the better. So hope that helps. Thank you, Chelsea, for your super chat. You said, can you pull one card about Brandy's long-term wellness if she gets another surgery on her legs, and one if she doesn't? All right, let's see. So Brandy's long-term wellness if she gets another surgery on her leg, and then if she doesn't. So the first card will be if she gets the surgery. Second card will be if she doesn't. And Brandy, is Brandy a dog? Because I know you got that. You love your dogs. Okay. Well, I'll say this. If she gets the surgery on her legs, she will be, I'll say more, what's the word? I mean, I don't really, because I got the devil card for the surgery. So that could be that she is more like, I guess, fused together, kind of like that. Is it something where they're going to have to fuse some bone or something? If she doesn't get the surgery, I have the Knight of Swords. So it looks like the situation will just progress worse. It'll just worsen. So it's better to get the surgery. But that devil card could mean that leg is still going to be kind of, messed up, where she might have to really like learn how to use that part of the leg again. But then if you just leave it as is, it looks like it will progress and get worse. So I guess it's best to get the surgery. No, that devil card could mean limited movement for a minute. So that makes sense to you? Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, I think that's what it is. So if she gets surgery on the leg, she might have limited movement of that leg for a minute because it might be, have a cast or a bandage or some type of contraption on it. But yeah, I believe the surgery is best. Hey, Johnny. Johnny got a birthday. Me and Johnny's birthday are the same day. Also, me and Latasha as well. Latasha, you in here? Thank you for your super chat, Johnny. Johnny, I'll be in touch with you on your birthday. I'll be sending you a message. Thank you, A Young Soul. Johnny, what you got planned for your birthday? I hope you're doing something good. Hope you're treating yourself to something nice. All right, let me pull up this other woman's chart. Thank you, Trey. Yep, my birthday is December 5th, tomorrow. Thank you, Sarah. All right, where's this lady? All right. Ooh, wow. The mom might be more of the violent one than the husband, because she got that Aries stellium. She got Sun conjoined to the South Node in Aries. Now that points to her son being the shooter, but that also deals with her and her being like this fighter, aggressive type person. That's why she was all like, oh, I'm not mad at you. You just got to learn how to not get caught. Like, she don't give a fuck with that Aries energy. And yeah, it was probably her idea to get her son a gun. Not even the father's idea with all that Aries energy. She got Mercury could join the Venus and Aries. That right there is like her talking about, oh yeah, here's your Christmas gift, and talking about this is what she say, training day or something like that. She got Mars in Cancer, which can cause her to act irrational. Her actions are based upon her feelings. That's another nationalist type of hookup. So remember, the father had Moon in Cancer. She has Mars in Cancer. Let me see how close that is. Well, no, they're not close. But yeah, that Mars in Cancer can, again, have her very patriotic, crazy patriotic in a way where it's like, yeah, she might end up going to war. She got Mars square Venus and Mercury. Mars square Mercury in particular can make somebody trigger happy. You said she was running with the boys? Yeah, she got that trigger finger. And then let me see, she got Mars square Chiron, and that's a loose cannon aspect. I'm seeing her as being worse than the father. And she probably wears the pants. Oh, yeah, there it is. I was about to say, Aaron, she probably wears the pants. I know she does with that hookup. Yeah, she wears the pants in the family. She's calling the shots, and literally. Then she got Saturn and Leo is in trine with Mercury and Venus in Aries. And that's her. I'm saying, look, she's proud of her son. I think she's proud of what he did, or she doesn't, fault him or anything like that. He said, oh, yeah, that plastic Joel Osteen. Is it Osteen or Osteen? I bet he is the one who hid the money himself. Wait, he's connected with this or something? Cherry Bell said, sounds like my ex and his ex, and he was racist, horrible Cancer moon. She was Cancer Mars. Yeah, that could produce racism, but also nationalism. And, they were Trump supporters. Now, I'm not saying just because you're a Trump supporter, you're going to be into this type of stuff, but you do have some Trump supporters that are like those preppers, those people that will be like, what do you call those two? Damn, why can't I think tonight? What are those people called? It's preppers, but it's something else. They're kind of like outlaws and stuff like that. But basically, I see both of the parents, but mainly her being the one that starts the fire, like starts the fire within her son, gets him all charged up. Not authoritarian. Those ones that like they have a bunch of guns, not doomsayers or doomsdayers. They're like not vigilantes. The ones like they usually are in the Midwest, and it's on the tip of my tongue. Somebody knows it. Damn, why can't it's not preppers. Let me try to find that word. It's not mercenaries. It's God. Militia. That's the word. Militia. Yes, militia. They are basically, it sounds like they're part of that type of militia type group people. Yeah. And that's kind of like the same, like Cameron said, like they're outlaws. All right, next topic. So enough about that, but that's a crazy story. So it's going to be interesting how this pans out. All right, what else did I want to talk about before we get into these Sagittarians? Did y'all see this? Let me pull up this picture. Of course, that picture is not coming up. Hold on. I'm trying to find that nasty one. That is so funny. Did she scrub the internet of that one already? Now, even though she's not a Sagittarius, she is in the news lately because of her antics. This woman tries so hard to stay relevant. But did y'all see the latest about Madonna and the Instagram post she made? And she's all mad because like in this one picture, it's kind of far away, but she had her nipple exposed and Instagram took it down. And she was all, kicking up some dust about it. But let me try to find that one picture where her ass is out and she looks nasty as shit. It's funny that they're not showing that picture because it was very unflattering of her. A very unflat. Oh, here it is. Madonna is crazy. And it looks like she's starting to have a receding hairline. I guess she's bored, so she needs to stir up some controversy. I mean, it ain't even controversy, but she must be that bored with her life. Now look at that nasty. Look at her under the bed. Match Kid still on fire. What is that? Why is she under the bed like that? And isn't she like 60 at this point? Or maybe like 59, 58? At least it disgusting. Synthetic. Yeah, she does have a fake butt. But yeah, that's sad when you gotta be that old. She's 63 carrying on like that. Now let me just read a little bit about what's going on with Madonna right now. And Madonna's a Leo, and I always call dark-sided Leo the exhibitionist, and that's what she is. So she always gotta be showing her ass or her tits or something. Oh yeah, 50 Cent did mock her, didn't he? It says 50 Cent apologizes for mocking Madonna's photos. No, she needs to be mocked. Why did he apologize? That just shows how powerful she is. She was about to rock his world. All right, let's see. That's so funny how this latest article is not coming up just because I put in Madonna. Like, wow. I think she has that much power. She's trying to scrub the internet. I need to go on DuckDuckGo. Okay. So basically, this is actually her. She reposted the picture and Lee Daniels, he commented under her post. She reposted the picture where her nipple was out because she was like, okay, here we go. This is a good article. So it says Madonna makes fans cringe with latest embarrassing lingerie pictures. Maybe she's getting a little senile. Senility is starting to affect people younger and younger. A lot of these baby boomers, they are becoming senile early. Now, Madonna makes fans cringe with latest embarrassing lingerie pictures. Madonna recently posted a series of provocative photos of herself, with the post attracting criticism from others who labeled it embarrassing and a cry for attention. Dark-sided Leo. Madonna has attracted criticism after posting embarrassing, provocative photos that could have been compared to porn. Now, this ain't porn, though. Now, the 63-year-old is no stranger to controversy with recent antics, including posing as Marilyn Monroe in a photo shoot, which sparked a backlash on social media last month. The music icon has now attracted further negativity after sharing a series of photos on Instagram yesterday, which show her in lingerie, with some of them including nudity. The images, Sarah said, adrenochrome overdose. The images show the Material Girl singer posing around a bed whilst wearing a bra, thong, fishnet stockings, and heels. In two of the photos, the chart-topping performer can be seen lying on a bed with her left nipple exposed. Another, taken from behind, shows her kneeling in front of the bed, with the thong leaving little to the imagination. They attracted criticism on the social media platform, with people describing them as ridiculous and very sad, with both Madonna and the post referred to as embarrassing. One person said that the Grammy-winning artist must have lost her dignity under the bed. Damn. Whilst another wrote, having self-respect at this age will suit you better. Others compared the photos to pornography, whilst it was also mentioned that her 6 children could see the photos, with someone writing that they must be so proud of her. And when one person said, "Stop showing your ass. We've seen plenty of it with the sex book, and it was brave then. Now it's just classless. And it has nothing to do with your age." Yes, it does. It has everything to do with age. I'm sorry. Ain't no 63-year-old woman or man should be, looking provocative like this, taking these provocative photos. Like, you had your time. Nobody wants to see that shit when you're that age. Now, another commented, "Sorry, this isn't edgy, risky, shocking, artsy, or unique. It's a desperate cry for attention." There was, however, some support for the singer, with one person responding, "She uses art to express herself and kick them barriers down that you all clearly have. I don't understand the shock and why everyone is so ashamed." Nobody's ashamed. They saying Madonna should be ashamed. But this is how dark-sided Leo gets down. Even when they're around 63 years old, they still are desperate for attention. They still want to be an exhibitionist. All right, next story. Oh, this is a good one. Let me pull up his chart. Because we talked about this briefly in my Patreon. Just 1 second. Now, let me just pull a picture of this. He got issues. This man, look, I gotta wait. This picture's even better. Okay, look at him right here. You could really see the sweetness coming out. I'm seeing sweet tea all day. But did anybody read Will Smith's book? So there has been little tidbits of information coming out about Will Smith's book. And one thing that really intrigued me was the information coming out where he said that he was so addicted to sex that he would vomit after sex sometimes. I was like, what? Who does that? That shouldn't even be part of a sentence. But see, Will Smith has Moon conjunct Neptune in Scorpio in the 6th house. And it's making a quincunx to his Saturn in Aries. And that's part of him having the sex addiction that causes him to vomit. Oh, God, he's disgusting. And again, even though it's Sagittarius season, I wanted to get some of these current events out the way. And we got to talk about this Will Smith situation real quick. You said like any Libra. All right, so it says, he said, "I had sex with so many women and men, and it was so constitutionally disagreeable to the core of my being that I developed." Okay, let me reread this because I don't know if y'all caught where I slid that shit in, but let me reread it. He said, "I had sex with so many women, and it was so constitutionally disagreeable to the core of my being that I developed a psychosomatic reaction to having an orgasm." I slid that one in there, in Lynette. All right, he said, let me just read it again. "I had sex with so many women, and it was so constitutionally disagreeable." Why does he have to use that word constitutionally disagreeable to the core of my being that I developed a psychosomatic reaction to having an orgasm? It would literally make me gag and sometimes even vomit. Smith said that he persisted through the vomiting and continues sleeping with copious women. Exactly. What is this constitutionally disagreeable? What is that? You said, what is his Mercury? He got Mercury in Libra conjoined to Venus in Libra. So you could say he does try to be like artsy with his communication style. But again, who does that? Now you said, Aaron, you think he gives you asexual vibes? No, I think he is a very sexual person. He does have Jupiter conjoined to Pluto. So, but again, and I think like I just wish he would really be honest. Like I wish he would come out and talk about his relationship with Dwayne Martin, because that's been going on for years. I think that's his true love of his life. The one that he been loving all these years but can't be with openly. I really believe that's how it rolls with him. Especially because he got Capricorn spanning the whole 8th with Saturn and Aries in the 12th. Now, that could be the sex addiction, but that can also deal with a secret sexual male lover or a secret male lover. You don't get sexual energy from him either. That's the funny thing is, I can see what people are saying about they don't get sexual energy from him. But trust and believe, Will Smith got two sides. He is a 25. And he got that mutable energy in Virgo. So Mars in Virgo, Jupiter, Pluto, Uranus in Virgo. So, and let's not forget, he got Moon conjoined to Neptune in Scorpio. So he is very sexual. That also points to Jada. You know, Jada claimed to have a sex addiction as well. Now, what y'all are saying, though, about some of y'all are saying you don't see him being sexual. That could be part of the reason why he had the conflict with being hypersexual and him saying that it was constitutionally disagreeable to the core of my being. And instead, you know, he's having all this sex, but deep down inside, that's not what he really wants. The next thing you know, he's vomiting all over the place. But if that ain't some Moon conjoined to Neptune and Scorpio in the 6th house, I don't know what is. But this just makes me like, it just confirms that both Will and Jada, they are some weird people. They're strange. It said rampant sex. Will Smith handled heartbreak not by listening to sad tunes, but by having too much sex. Didn't he also say that he thought about pushing his father down the steps one day? Will Smith is wild. It says the King Richard star revealed in his new memoir, Will, that he turned into a gag. He turned into a gag-prone ghetto. Wait. He actually wrote this? Oh, man. It said, King Richard star revealed in his new memoir, Will, that he turned into a gag-prone ghetto hyena sexually after his then-girlfriend Melanie cheated on him. He said, I desperately need relief, but as there is no pill for heartbreak, I resorted to the homeopath. Oh my God, the way this guy writes, I could never read his book. I would be vomiting having to read this drivel. Listen to the way this man writes. So again, I gotta go back to the ghetto hyena. Matter of fact, I should get his book. Yo, should I buy his book and then we do a read along? I might just save it for my patrons. I could read his book and then like stop at certain points and talk about what's in his chart that could make because the way this man writes is hilarious. I might do that. I might purchase his book and do a book club little thing real quick in a commentary. Yes. So I gotta repeat this. The way he writes. Okay. The King Richard star revealed in his new memoir, Will, that he turned into a gag-prone ghetto hyena. So ghetto hyena is his words. Sexually after his then-girlfriend, Melanie, cheated on him. So this is what he wrote again. I desperately need relief, but as there is no pill for heartbreak, I resorted to the homeopathic remedies of shopping and rampant sexual intercourse. Up until this point in my life, I had only had sex with one woman other than Melanie. But over the next few months, I went full ghetto hyena. What the fuck? apparently that didn't agree with his inner being. So Smith developed a psychosomatic reaction to ejaculating. I'm done. He said it would literally, I get it. That's what it is, Cherry. That's why he's gagging, because he's not being true to himself. He's a 25. Oh my God, that's why he's gagging. He don't want to have sex with women. He wants just men. And so him having sex with all these women is making him sick to his stomach. We got to read between the lines with this stuff. Look at this. So it says, it was more about heartbreak than anything else. Him trying to get over this heartbreak. But again, him getting sick because he knows he's living a lie. That's what that's really about. That's what I really believe. Because again, and look, him having sex with all these women and he feeling guilty about cheating on Dwayne Martin. He said, well, it says, despite the adverse reaction to sex, Smith continued to sleep with women in hopes that they would cure his heartbreak. Now, he does have his sun conjoined to the South Node in Libra, which makes it very hard for a person to get over a breakup. He said, in every case, though, I hope to God this beautiful stranger would be the one who would love me, who would make this pain go away, he explains. But invariably, there I was, retching and wretched, and the look in the eyes of the women even further deepened my agony. Yeah, you notice he's talking about women making him gag. Smith went on to marry Cherie Zampino in 1992, but the pair divorced in 1995. He then married now wife Jada Pinkett Smith, with whom he has an open relationship. The Will author is now in an open marriage with Jada Pinkett Smith. We drank every day. We had sex multiple times every day for 4 straight months, he writes of their courtship. I started to wonder if this was a competition. Either way, as far as I was concerned, there were only 2 possibilities. I was going to satisfy this woman sexually, or I was going to come out the closet. Smith has 3 kids. Son Trey, 29, with Zampino. Son Jaden, 23, and daughter Willow, 21. So yeah, Will Smith, he's a sick pup. He's a little screwed up. And again, I believe he's so tormented because he's not being true to himself in terms of his sexuality. I really believe it. But yeah, that's Will. All right, moving along. Not going to tarry too long on this. So we talked about Will Smith. Oh, y'all. So Venus turns retrograde on December 19th at the 26th degree of Capricorn. So one of the main things you just need to be aware of with Venus retrograde, especially in Capricorn, is that one of your exes, a distant ex from a long time ago, might hit you up, might contact you. You might have to deal with some unfinished business with that Venus retrograde in Capricorn. Also, you could be looking at some issue involving money. I will say this, just be careful making major purchases once Venus turns retrograde, because there could be an issue with the purchase. There might be some problem with, you getting overcharged or something like that. I'll just say that when I bought a car one year and Venus was retrograde, this was in, 2014? No, 2015. When Venus was retrograde, I bought a car and I had to end up returning the car once Venus went direct, but it actually worked out in my favor because the finance company, they weren't willing to finance the car that I wanted because they said it was a bit too old. So I ended up getting a newer car, a better make and model of car once Venus turned direct. But yeah, if you don't want to have to go back and do something over again, just be a little careful with Venus retrograde. But that's the most, I'll say it's not usually too problematic with Venus retrograde unless, it could be problematic if Venus is transiting your 8th house, or pretty much the 8th that could really mess things up. The 7th house usually is going to be somebody an ex that tries to get back with you or whatever. Just be careful about meeting anybody new when Venus is retrograde, because once it goes direct, you might really see this person for who they really are. And work-related concerns could arise with Venus being retrograde in Capricorn. But I like Venus in Capricorn. Anybody got Venus in Capricorn up in here? Anybody got Venus in Capricorn? I like Venus in Capricorn. Like I said, it's a solid Venus. It's a Venus that a lot of times you ain't going to get into too much trouble, but you could attract a partner who's just mean and stingy, old evil ass. And then the South Node is going to enter Scorpio. North Node will enter Taurus on December 22nd. So we got to be ready for that. Basically, we're in for some tough times, y'all. Now, I will say this. For people that have had like businesses, or even, if you're employed somewhere, this could be the time where you can start really maximizing your earning potential with that North Node in Taurus. But then that South Node in Scorpio, if you're not careful, you could be accumulating a lot of debt. I'm just very concerned with the South Node being in Scorpio with this Shata stuff already, out, and with the ether, and they're saying the Necronomicon variant is like hitting people up now about now. And Scorpio does rule viruses, but Scorpio also rules injections. Scorpio rules shots. So we're going to be seeing them like really tightening up on these mandate situations, I believe. But for the variant, instead of calling it the Omicron, I'm going to call it the Necronomicon. And y'all know, some of y'all know what I mean when I say the Necronomicon. So that's what it's called to me. Matter of fact, I should stop calling the ether the ether. At this point, we could call it the Necronomicon. No, I still like the ether. We're going to keep it the ether. But when it comes to this new variant, yeah, that's the Necronomicon. So, yeah. So we got to watch out. Don't fear the Necronomicon. Don't let them get to you with this. You was calling it Abercrombie and Fitch. Remember that, sir? I remember I had one of those shopping bags from Abercrombie and Fitch. And because I used to shop there sometimes. And the shopping bag, I remember I kept that in my room for a whole year because it was a man with a sexy ass body. Like, it was just a picture of his chest covering the whole bag. And I was like, I put that in my room and just sat it up there for decoration. Did that store go out of business, or are they still in business? Thank you, All Set, for your super chat. You said it's the Omarion. Yeah, I like Omarion for it too. But yeah, Abercrombie and Fitch. So yeah, it's getting crazy right now. I don't know if y'all were hearing about what's going on with Germany. Germany, like, they discriminating against the people that aren't taking the shots. It's getting crazy. But that Scorpio South Node ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. So Yudi, the model, said, but wouldn't the Scorpio South Node move us away from all the Scorpio? No, it's going to intensify Scorpio themes. Just like you've seen with the South Node being in Sagittarius, politicians were being basically strung up by their ankles. They was basically being called out. Religious figures as well. International issues with the whole scandemic and all that type of stuff, and all that stuff involving transportation and the supply chain and all that was very Sagittarius, South Node, Gemini, North Node. Basically, people being put on blast, the truth coming out. So just know that South Node in Scorpio will just basically exacerbate Scorpio-related themes. And we know that Scorpio rules death. So unfortunately, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more people dying with the South Node entering Scorpio. So we're heading for some crazy dark times. Cameron said, I saw something about how people not getting the demon injection in Australia are being forced into isolation. Yeah, they're being put in these camps, right? Or even people that, like, I don't even think well, I didn't get all the details, but is it just the people that aren't getting the shots? Are they being forced to have to quarantine at these camps for like 14 days after traveling? Hey, Florida. Hey, Florida. So you said list of Sagittarian celebrities. Feel free to read their charts. Tyra Banks, Trina, Jay-Z. I will be getting into Jay-Z. I'll be talking about Trey Songz. Yep. Fizz the Game, Garcelle Bouvet. I will be talking about Maia Campbell, Jaleel White, Robin Givens, R.J. Smith. Damn, you put in my agenda on blast, Florida, but thank you for your super chat. All right. Okay, so what else did I have before we get into the Sagittarius mess? Trey Songz. Now, wasn't Trey Songz in the news recently? I know when I did my live stream for my patrons, somebody was talking about Trey Songz. So let me look him up real quick. And I forget what they were saying. Indigo, where you at? Because I think you were mentioning Trey Songz. I'm gonna have to open up my door. It's hot. So he was accused of sexual harassment. Let me try to find the story. Okay, here it is. And let me pull up his chart. First, let me pull up a picture of him with his duck lips. I was just saying during that Patreon live stream about how I don't like his lips. Ew, look at him here. Trying to get a good picture. Now, you have quite a few Sagittarians that are hypersexual, and it seems like Trey Songz is one of those hypersexual Sagittarians. I remember I saw one video of his, and man, it made me like blush. I was just like, this is just too much for my 40-something self. I couldn't handle it. It was just too explicit. So I saw that back then dealing with him. Hold on. Okay. So we might as well add him to the list too of dark-sided Sagittarius. And then I think I got another super chat. Hold on. Oh, thank you, Laboo95. That's I know who you are. I'm trying to remember because I know that avatar. Is it Erudite? You said, how will Scorpio South Node affect someone with Scorpio North Node? Well, that would be your inverse nodal return. And I find those inverse nodal returns, they could be almost, or I'll say more problematic than the actual nodal return, where it's like the South Node is lining up with your South Node. But with you having the Scorpio North Node, and I'm going to be experiencing that too with the Scorpio South Node, basically it's just going to force you into some Scorpio related situations, you could say. And you can look at it as this is a time where you're going to go through a system of checks and balances, or you could be tested dealing with some themes that are Scorpio related. But there could be some blessings that come with that as well. And again, they'll be Scorpio related, but you might find yourself at odds with someone or something dealing with that Scorpio Taurus opposition. So we're talking about, situations involving money, situations involving things being not expressed openly, or like where there's no transparency. So it could be a person that lacks transparency, could be an issue involving safety because Taurus is dealing with safety. So just when you have that hookup, you just got to be very careful. Now I'm going to pull a card for you. I mean, because I'm thinking you're talking about yourself. So let me pull a card to see how that's going to play out. And then somebody else had a super chat and it just, okay, that was Florida. Now, why does it look like Trey Songz just rolled out of bed and showed up to this concert? From the top of the world, me and my girl, we, Now, I got the Five of Swords, which is a card that could be pretty problematic. My first thought is betrayal, which is a very Scorpio theme. So just be careful, watch your back. You know, you might want to examine your friends and see if you really have true friends, because you could be looking at some betrayal. I will say that. So just be vigilant, I'll say. All right, so let me read about this Trey Songz situation. So R&B star Trey Songz investigated over sexual assault allegation. Las Vegas police confirmed that the star is cooperating following complaint and has not been arrested. R&B star Trey Songz is being investigated by Las Vegas police following allegations of sexual assault being made against him. The singer, real name Tremaine Neverson, has not been arrested and is cooperating with the investigation. Neverson was in Las Vegas for his 37th birthday celebrations, and the alleged incident was reported to have taken place at a hotel in the city on Sunday night. Neverson had not commented on the allegations. The Guardian has contacted his UK representatives for comment. As Trey Songz, Neverson is a prominent R&B star in the United States. 5 of his 8 albums have reached the US top 3, 2 of them reaching number 1, first emerging in 2005. In 2018, he was accused of sexual assault by an unnamed woman in Miami, which he denied. In 2020, he said the movement to fight for women who actually have suffered harassment and abuse on various levels has been hijacked by those who find it convenient for themselves to come up as they seek to destroy someone's life. In January, he was arrested at an NFL match in Kansas City, Missouri, after a dispute with police. He was not charged following the incident. All right, so let's take a look at Trey Songz' chart. Patricia said, Trey Songz is a horrible person. I highly dislike how bad he treats women. He deserves to be locked up in jail. All right, or I'll get to your question in a minute. Esmeralda said, Trey strikes me as the type that would flash women randomly. Hey, NYC. NYC said, my grandmother is a Sagittarius, December 1st, and will tell you she had an abortion twice back in the 50s because my grandfather tried to trap her. Oh, wow. She had one of them kitchen table abortions. Damn. One of them Macy Gray abortions. All right, so let me pull up Trey Songz' chart. So we need to just classify Trey Songz as a dark-sided Sagittarius. So would y'all agree that he's a dark-sided Sagittarius? I just gotta make it. I only know of like 2 of his songs. All right, so here's Trey Songz' chart. So he got South Node conjoining Saturn in Scorpio. I remember I talked about that aspect before when he was in the news about spitting on his fans at a concert. Like he had that long like line of spit, and he was just nasty. So that South Node conjoining Saturn in Scorpio just gives him that strong sexual energy. He could be sexual to the point where, yes, he might sexually harass someone, and his karma is very much tied up into sex. He got Mercury conjunct Neptune, so he could lack boundaries when dealing with people, women in particular. He got Venus conjoined to Jupiter. Now, with that, it could deal with where he attracts a lot of women. But he might think that he can have his way with women, like just have a free-for-all when dealing with women. That also points to his musical career as well. And then he got Mars in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius. That Mars in Aquarius can make him a big-time freak. And then Moon in Aquarius, that can make him just very much about not wanting to settle down with a woman. Has he ever been married? Does he have a long-term girlfriend? Let me see about his relationship profile. A lot of Sagittarius men, they're like perennial bachelors. Even if they get married, there's a high chance they're going to cheat. So he's known for fighting too. So Trey Songz got Mars square Pluto, which is a hypersexual aspect. And with that Mars square Pluto, I believe the sexual harassment allegations. Because that is an aspect of rape, sexual abuse. Now, I'm not saying that he raped anybody, but the potential is there for him to violate somebody sexually, whether that's sexual harassment, like somebody said, flashing somebody maybe. I wouldn't be surprised about the flashing. Somebody who mentioned the flashing, because that Mars square Pluto could deal with that, especially with his Mars being in Aquarius. And then Patricia said Trey Songz may be acting under demonic influence. That could be that Mars square Pluto, and then Saturn and Scorpio could join to the Scorpio South Node. With the Moon in Aquarius, he could objectify women, and he basically is very much about getting strange. So even if he's in a relationship, he could have a very hard time being committed to one woman. And he's a 28 in terms of birth number, and that can make him very much about, jumping on any type of opportunity, and that those opportunities could be in women. All right, let me see about his private life. Personal life. So he has one child, I think, with a woman named Carol Cologne. He tested positive for the ether on October 5th. Not much about his personal life at all. So he was raised a military brat. That's showing up through that Capricorn energy that he has. He was raised by his mother and stepfather. Songz did not have aspirations for a musical career as a child due to his shyness, saying singing wasn't a reality for me until other people started noticing I sounded good. I sounded good. He recognized his vocal abilities at the age of 14. Reluctant to sing, he began performing with encouragement by friends and family in high school. Record producer Troy Taylor was introduced to Songz through Song's stepfather, with whom Taylor attended high school. Saturn and Scorpio can manifest as a stepfather. Let me see. After graduating, blah, 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 blah. Legal issues. In December 2016, following a performance at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Songz was arrested and charged with felony assault of a police officer. Let me see where that's coming in. Well, he does have that Mars square Pluto, but that doesn't necessarily mean the police officer. But the Saturn could join the South Node in Scorpio. That does have something to do with the police. But that could just deal with him getting in trouble with the authorities. So Songz was arrested and charged with a felony assault of a police officer and misdemeanor aggravated assault for injuring a photographer. Damn. All right, let me see. It was alleged that the singer began throwing objects at the venue, cut his concert short due to an 11:30 p.m. curfew. Now, these dark side of Sagittarius will throw some shit. Will break some shit up. They could be extremely violent. My bad. Trey Songz pleaded guilty in August 2017 to 2 reduced counts of disturbing the peace and was sentenced to 18 months of probation. In June 2018, Songz was sued in federal court for the incident that took place following the 2016 Detroit concert. A Detroit police officer alleges in the lawsuit that he suffered a career-ending brain injury and had to undergo a hip replacement when Songz allegedly punched him in the face. Damn. The officer alleged that after being hit, he and Songz fell to the floor, with the singer landing on top of the officer, causing him to hit his head on the concrete and also hurt his lip. A photographer working the show, also a party to the lawsuit, alleged that he sustained a head injury after Songz allegedly threw a microphone stand at him. This is so dark-sided Sagittarius. Again, dark-sided Sag can be very violent. A woman claimed that Trey Songz sexually assaulted her while they were both partying at E11 Even Miami nightclub. And again, he got Mars square Pluto, so I believe in these sexual assault charges. She later filed a lawsuit seeking damages of $10 million. On January 24th, 2021, Songz was arrested in Kansas City while attending the conference championship game between the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills. Songz was being heckled by fans and he asked them to chill out. An officer came over, and from sources in a video released by TMZ, an altercation ensued. This altercation led to Songz' arrest and charges of trespassing, resisting arrest, both misdemeanors, and for assaulting a police officer, a low-grade felony. He was released from custody the next day. So yeah, he's what you would call, like, I wouldn't say he's a bad boy, but he just he can't control his anger. He just gets out of control, and that Mars square Pluto has a lot to do with it. And then just getting into the problems with the authorities. Oh, Cameron, you became a diggable planet. Welcome. Thank you, Cameron. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Cameron. He's a new diggable planet. And then let me get to your question, Oro. Speaking of diggable planets. Okay. So you said you've been dating again, and you wanted to know, do you see you in a relationship, dating, or still blissfully single throughout the next year? Thank you for the birthday wish. I want to go out and eat me a nice dinner tomorrow. I don't know where, though, yet. So will you be in a relationship, dating, or still blissfully single throughout the next year? I got the Queen of Wands, and that tells me you're going to be blissfully single, but you're going to have some options. You're going to have some men that are, showing an interest in you, but I don't see you wanting to like settle down or anything. So it looks like you're going to be having some fun. You could be going out on dates. You won't be lonely, but I see you being blissfully single ultimately, which I believe is a good thing. Sometimes we do better being single, building upon or improving upon ourselves. And I know you got the surgeries coming up and all that type of stuff. So yeah, like you could say that Queen of Wands, she's very much about investing in herself, and she wouldn't mind a man, but she ain't trying to like chase after a man or be with a man. And a lot of times Queen of Wands is getting attention from men. So that's a really good card to have. All right, so we covered Trey Songz. So let's get into the well, he's the first. So he's the first dark-sided Sagittarius that we talked about. Let me see who else I have on my list. All right, let's get into Dan Bilzerian. We'll make him first. Well, second. Because like I said, he is the epitome of a dark-sided Sagittarius. And I created a PowerPoint and all that. And like I said, I did a live stream for my patrons, and then I uploaded the video to YouTube. But then when I looked at the replay, I was like, oh my God, I just made a really stupid mistake. So I deleted it, and I wanted to re-record it, but I didn't have the time. So unfortunately, I can't show the slide. I don't think I could do the slideshow sharing my screen. That's the unfortunate thing about StreamYard. Let me see if I can. See, I can't minimize it without, how do I do that? I'm trying to see how I could pull up the slideshow instead of just showing you these slides. Because I like, anyway, I'll just do it like this. But first, let me pull up a video of this guy. Let me get rid of some of these windows. So basically, Dan Bilzerian, he's this poker player that claimed to make like $50 million just off of playing poker alone. And he's an egomaniac. He exaggerates about his life. He lies, all this type of stuff. So let's just take a little quick peek at his life and some of the things that he's gone through real quick. See, it says Dan Bilzerian on dating 50 girls at the same time. See, this guy, and you know, Sagittarius is the sign of excess. So just keep that in mind.
18, and this is so. He's quite.
Hold on, I'm trying to find a good video clip. That's not a good one. Is this the one?
Bilzerian's early years at Street governing body. Lavish holidays, high status, please welcome Instagram's ability to do what?
Hold on. Okay, we'll just watch.
Dan Bilzerian is.
Is a party king of Instagram with over 30 million followers. Dan Bilzerian is a party king of Instagram with over 30 million followers on his account. He loves to show himself having a great time with girls, guns, and all of his wealth. With an estimated net worth of $200 million, there's no denying that Bilzerian's life is a wild and crazy ride. Though Dan's life is pretty amazing all around, here are 10 shocking Dan Bilzerian moments that actually happened. Movie cameos. While Dan Bilzerian has appeared in some movies, his most controversial appearance to date was when he starred in Lone Survivor in 2013. Having invested $1 million into the movie, Bilzerian filmed around 8 minutes of screen time and 80 words of dialogue, but in the final product of the movie, he only had 1 line and 1 minute of screen time. Although he did make millions back from the movie, he quickly realized he didn't have what it took to succeed in the movie industry, and decided to give up on his path to becoming an actor. Instead, he just stuck to his main moneymakers, poker and Instagram. Senior year. We all know that Dan Bilzerian likes his guns. Well, his passion started when he was young, as he was arrested in his senior year for having a machine gun in his car on school property. And this arrest definitely did not stop his love for guns, because today, he owns over 100 guns and has a loaded gun on display in every room of his mansion in Hollywood Hills. Ex-Navy SEAL. At one point in his life, Bilzerian tried to join the Navy. He was enlisted in the Navy for 4 years, where he spent 510 days going through grueling Navy SEAL training. But a few weeks before graduation, he got kicked out of the program after having a dispute with one of his administration officers, which led to him being honorably discharged. He then later enrolled in the University of Florida, where he majored in business and criminology. Heart attacks. He has had 2 heart attacks before the age of 30, and it's no surprise why he lives his life to the fullest and seizes every moment. In an interview, Dan claimed that he took 6 times the recommended dose of Viagra, a lot of cocaine, weed, and drank for 4 days straight with about an hour of sleep on a ski trip. After the 4th day, Dan had his first heart attack, and while he was in a hospital, he was treated by Michael Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray, who coincidentally treated Dan's grandfather a year prior, where he passed away from a heart attack in the same hospital. And just 12 hours later, Dan had his second heart attack in the hospital, but luckily, he survived after 2 weeks of recovery. But even after surviving this health scare, Bilzerian seems to be partying as fiercely as ever and doesn't plan to stop anytime soon. Lucky friends. Dan once invested $2,000 in his personal friend and fellow poker player Jay Farber, nicknamed Panda, who finished second in the 2013 WSOP main event and scored $5.1 million, of which he gave Dan $1 million and a goat in return for his $2,000 investment. Dan said that he can't just have one goat, so he got a second, and now he's the proud owner of 2 goats, which he says are pretty awesome animals. Although most normal people would just get a dog as a pet, Dan definitely stands out as being a millionaire with pet goats. Bomb charges. Dan Bilzerian is known to many as a berserker and known to cause trouble from his fun. As if his fascination with guns wasn't enough of a red flag, his arrest at LAX International Airport definitely underlined it. On December 9, 2014, he was arrested on charges of constructing a bomb as he had possession of bomb-making ingredients. Suddenly, a man whose life was just one big party was facing the grim reality of the situation, a potential prison sentence of up to 6 years. Soon, he was found guilty, but because of Dan's amazing lawyers, he was then released from jail just a few weeks later. Arms dealing. Playing poker isn't the only way Bilzerian has made a living. During his time in college, he was making $90,000 a week playing poker, but there's a difference between making money and being able to keep it. A victim of his arrogance, he quickly became bankrupt and had to sell his gun collection. However, Bilzerian ended up selling his $750 collection for over $10,000. It was this money he took to Vegas, and then soon he returned that sum into $187,000. Net worth debate. Though Bilzerian's self-estimation of a $200 million fortune is widely circulated, many of his high-stakes poker buddies who are in no way jealous of his fame suspect that the figure may be a complete fabrication. His winnings are public knowledge, with the most he's ever won in 1-8 standings at $3 million, but he does lead a lavish, expensive life. Though he freely admits to being at best an average poker player, he has fleeced businessmen out of $50 million in private games. Though he has a fabulous mansion, a Gulfstream jet, and a range of sports cars, it has been alleged that he rents all of them. The LA mansion is supposedly rented out by a Singapore businessman for $35,000 a month. Woman. The way Bilzerian treats women is pretty insane. Desperate to make an impression in Hustler magazine, Bilzerian threw the adult film star Janice Griffith completely naked off the roof of his mansion, causing Janice to break her foot as she hit the side of the pool before actually making it in. The stunt was orchestrated by Bilzerian and Hustler magazine, and she sued both of them over her injuries. Cat celebrity. Dan Bilzerian's cat Smushball has a celebrity reputation all of his own, with more than 500,000 followers. Smushball is quite a unique cat as it's Persian and has 3 legs. Smushball always gets the attention of Bilzerian and everyone around just because of how cute the cat is. But although we know Dan to be the playboy macho man he is, it's nice to know that he has a soft spot when it comes to animals. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned some interesting
All right, he's not as bad as I thought, being as though he's a cat lover. I gotta give him that. Like, I have a soft spot for cat lovers because I'm a cat lover. But with that being said, isn't he the epitome of a dark-sided Sagittarius? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Thank you, RDK. Hey, M. Lynette is a Diggable Planet. What's up, M. Lynette? Everybody welcome M. Lynette to the club, to the Diggable Planet. Thank you for becoming a member. But yeah, isn't he a true Sagittarius? Through and through. Talk about excess. So Sagittarius can live excessive lifestyles where they can't get enough. And that's why I titled tonight's live stream, Can't Get Enough. The dark side of Sagittarius. Because that's how Sagittarius is. They always want more and more and more. So let me pull up this PowerPoint and we're going to get into this reading real quick about Dan Bilzerian. And already y'all saw some of the details, like him throwing the girl off of the roof and she ended up hurting her foot and all that type of stuff. So crazy. All right, let me get rid of this highlight. All right, Dan Bilzerian, dark-sided Sagittarius, egomaniac, narcissist, fraud. Now, I found this to be interesting. So I just put in Sagittarius male art, and this came up. And I'm like, that looks like that Dan Bilzerian. So this was actually on an astrologer's Twitter, and they posted this picture. And I'm like, whoever this artist is, they know about Dan Bilzerian, and they basically were depicting Dan Bilzerian. So I'm like, Dan Bilzerian as a Sagittarius meme. Because again, he is the epitome of a dark-sided Sagittarius. He fits all of the traits, basically. Except for the religion. But I think he is like into some type of spirituality or whatever like that. All right, moving along. So here are some traits of a dark-sided Sagittarius male. And like I said when I first recorded this, some of the females will display these traits as well, but for the men, it tends to be more pronounced. So, overblown ego, grandiose sense of self, or grandiose type of lifestyle, cocky, conceited, braggadocious, reckless, wild, outlaw type. I call dark-sided Sagittarius the outlaw. Irresponsible and unreliable. He basically was not handling his business because he started a business, but he wasn't running it in a responsible manner. Insensitive, too blunt, unfaithful, philandering fills. That's what I like to call these dark-sided Sagittarius because they can't keep it in their pants. Being messy, unkempt, uncouth. Now, he's not messy looking or unkempt, maybe when he's around the house or whatever, but he is uncouth. Act like he don't have no home training. Hypocritical. Do as I say, not as I do. Loud, obnoxious, irreverent. And he's very loud, obnoxious, and irreverent. Whorish. Engaging in lots of indiscriminate sex. Like it said in one of the headlines, he was dating 50 women at the same time, which I believe is an exaggeration. But he's not a bad looking guy, especially with that beard. Now, when he shaves that beard, because I've seen him without the beard, he looks totally different. And he got like a real rounded off chin. That chin ain't chiseled like how you think. He got that beard lined up where it makes it look chiseled. Now, haughty and pretentious, outlandish, ostentatious. You'll have some dark-sided Sagittarius males. They be like the hoteps or the philosophers, the gurus, but the ones that talk the talk but don't walk the walk. Also, a lot of dark-sided Sagittarius men got money problems. They could be violent, destructive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who has time for 50 women? Exactly. They could be violent, destructive, self-righteous, dogmatic, big dreamers, and fall for get-rich-quick schemes. Big-time gamblers, as you can see. Dan Bilzerian was a poker player, or is a poker player, and also in large hearts. And you saw that he had a heart attack. Did it say 2 heart attacks already? And Sagittarius can produce an enlarged heart in the literal sense, because the sun rules the heart and Sagittarius enlarges things. So when you have sun in Sagittarius, especially if you're a man, you're just naturally prone to develop an enlarged heart, and that can lead to a heart attack, especially if they live their life in a reckless manner, which a lot of dark-sided Sagittarius do. All right, moving along. So here's his chart right here. He got Moon, Sun, Neptune, and Mercury in Sagittarius. He got Mars in Capricorn, South Node in Aquarius, North Node in Leo, Jupiter and Saturn in Libra, Pluto in Libra, Venus in Scorpio, and Uranus in Scorpio. Men that got that combination, Sun in Sagittarius and Venus in Scorpio, a lot of times they are big-time whores. So his date of birth is December 7th, 1980. Now that birth number of 7 makes him prone to live a lie or an illusion. Basically, he wants to live the glamorous life. He wants to live the glamorous life. Doesn't want to work. So you have a lot of 7s, especially if they're a Sagittarius, where they do want the easy life. They really don't want to have to work hard. Wants to be viewed as special. The 7 breeds lies, deception. Also, 7 relates to him being Instagram famous. And his Sun conjunct Neptune aspect echoes the theme of his 7 birth number, because 7 corresponds to Neptune. And when we're talking about Sun conjunct Neptune in Sagittarius, that can easily produce delusions of grandeur. Now, his life path number is 28. That breaks down to 10, further down to 1. And this can result in big come-ups, which he's had, but also him riding his father's coattails. And when you're a 28 in terms of life path numbers, you have to prepare for bad turns of fortune, which he's already experienced. Basically, his business lost $50 million in the first year, I believe. Now, he's a social media influencer. That's his Saturn and Libra trine Aquarius South Node. He's a professional poker player. That's his Sun and Moon in Sagittarius trine the Leo North Node. So that Leo North Node can deal with him being a gambler, poker player, him attaining some level of celebrity or stardom, even if it's just 15 minutes of fame, attaining some level of fame, which is Leo, investments, which is Leo, and then the father theme is coming through with that Leo North Node. More about his father in a minute. So he objectifies women, and that's his Venus and Scorpio square in Aquarius South Node. This is a guy that could really care less about the women that he's with. So you saw that when he threw that woman off his roof into the pool. Like, he could care less. Now, I'm not saying he was trying to hurt her, but yeah, he's just not careful. Like, he's very reckless in that respect when it comes to handling women. You can even say that's like the mishandling of women. All right. Where was I at? So he's an egomaniac, extravagant, overinflated sense of self, cocky, ostentatious, narcissistic, going overboard. That points to him being a Sagittarius, but also his Mars in Capricorn squaring Jupiter in Libra. He likes to brag on social media, and that made him an influencer on Instagram by him just posting these pictures of his lavish lifestyle. So that's him having Mercury in Sagittarius conjoined to Uranus in Scorpio. He can be prone to phoniness, fraudulent claims. That's Mercury in Sagittarius conjoined to Uranus in Scorpio as well. And mental instability. Having a reprobate mind is very much Mercury in Sag conjoined to Uranus in Scorpio. Now, he's never really accomplished much on his own once we see that his father basically funded his whole operation. And he tried to lie and say that he got all his money through gambling, which was not true. So he got Mars in Capricorn squaring Saturn in Libra. This can be an aspect of a failure. So with that Mars square Saturn, he could try his best to, be successful in a business or in life, but there's a high chance he's going to fail and fall flat on his face. Can be sadistic or masochistic, can be cruel, evil. Now, you'll have a lot of people with Mars square Saturn that are into rough sex, that are into S&M, that can have sadistic and masochistic tendencies. And throwing a woman off of a roof into a pool, I would consider that to be quite sadistic. And mind you, she was butt ass naked too. So like, he gets off on stuff like that. And especially because she was a porn star, he really probably thinks he can mistreat women like that, especially like the porn stars. So here he is right here. And as you can see, his company is called Ignite. And you see the GOAT logo. So that's represented by his Mars in Capricorn. So he got Mars in Capricorn. Capricorn is the GOAT. And as you saw in the video, he also bought 2 baby goats. And there's a picture of him laying in bed with a goat beside him, which is very questionable. But anyway, that's that Mars in Capricorn all day. So he served in the military, which is Mars in Capricorn. Now his birth number is 7 and his Sun conjunct Neptune aspect explains why he chose the Navy. He wanted to be a Navy SEAL. Created a company called Ignite with a goat logo. Like I said, that's at Mars in Capricorn. Him also buying the goats. That just shows strong identification with the goat. But I also feel like he's basically showing that he's a Satanist. Now, remember, Sagittarius deals with spirituality, and that will be a major theme in Sagittarius life. So his spiritual beliefs could center upon Satanism. And Satanism is basically just being an ultra materialist. So he's very materialistic. So very concerned with status recognition, but reputation is at stake with Mars and Capricorn. Also, with Mars and Capricorn, there's often a strong identification with the father, or there could be conflicts involving the father. Misrepresents what he has in terms of money and possessions. That's his sun in Sagittarius, quincunx Chiron and Taurus. And that's also dealing with him exaggerating and basically embellishing, you could say. Now, his father was charged with fraud. So he comes from money because his father was a corporate takeover executive or something like that. He was like taking over companies or whatever. And he's from Armenia. So Dan Bilzerian, that's where you get that last name, is Armenian. Well, he's half Armenian. So basically, the father was charged with fraud or charged with failing to report filings or something like that. He did a 13-month prison sentence, and basically he hid some of his money, and he put some of his money into trust funds for Dan and Dan's brother. Venus and Scorpio squaring the Leo North Node, which is part of a Grand Cross aspect pattern in Dan's chart. Mars and Capricorn squaring Jupiter and Saturn and Libra. All of that is pointing to the issues with the father being accused of fraud and all that, and having to do time, the criminal charges. So here he is. This is the thumbnail that I have on this video. So again, the excess theme, one woman is not enough. Thank you, PJ Staten, Diggable Planet. One woman is not enough. He needs more and more and more. So yeah, and again, I see this as him trying to overcompensate for that Mars square Saturn in his chart. Because a person with Mars square Saturn, like I said, they could feel like a failure. Like they could be a failure and they could feel like a failure. They could even engage in self-loathing at times. They could feel like they're insignificant. That's somebody that has a very strong need for recognition that they probably didn't get from their father growing up. And it can produce a very hardened ego. And again, overcompensation is usually the end result of that Mars square Saturn. Thank you, NYC. All right, moving along. So here he is again. He's always surrounded by women. Always has to make that statement. And then here he is with all the women again. And that's his Venus in Scorpio opposing his Chiron. So he basically needs women to have that validation or to build up his self-esteem and all of that stuff. When you have Chiron and Taurus, your self-esteem could be damaged in some way. So with Venus and Scorpio opposing Chiron and Taurus, yeah, he basically needs these women to like boost up his self-esteem, basically. You can basically say he's paying these women to do so. He's trying to make it seem like all these women are on his team, but he's paying for all these women. And with Venus and Scorpio, yeah, a lot of times there could be money involved when it comes to women. All right, moving along. So legal issues. So again, he threw the woman off of the roof and she ended up suing him for it. And that's that Venus opposition Chiron, but also Venus squaring the nodes. And that's part of the fixed grand cross aspect pattern in his chart. And what I was saying when I first recorded this the first time, that fixed grand cross, for some people, and especially Dan Bilzerian, people like Dan Bilzerian, that's like you dealing with a caged animal. So that fixed grand cross that came into play with the trust fund that his father set up for him, that he wasn't able to access until the age of 30. The fixed grand cross or grand crosses period can produce predicaments that last for a number of years. It can deal with being trapped in an unsatisfactory situation for a number of years. It can deal with where you are basically hemmed up for a minute, or you could get yourself caught up in some sticky situations that could take a while to get out of. Now, again, that fixed grand cross is coming into play with his trust fund. because he wasn't able to get that trust fund until he was age 30. So imagine, he knows he has this money just waiting for him, but he has to go through his whole 20s until he could get that. And then once he gets it, it's like that cage is open now, and now he's broke out of the cage, and now he's acting like a wild animal on the loose. So that is part of his problem, that fixed Grand Cross. And that fixed Grand Cross is also pointing to his legal issues as well. Again, it's like when you got that Grand Cross, it's like you will get caught up in these predicaments, these situations where it's going to take some time, maybe money, and a lot of effort to climb out of that hole or that cage or whatever container you can say that Grand Cross is creating. All right, so calculates and has no one he didn't pay for to back up his claims, proven to be terrible at one thing he claims to be great at. So he got Venus and Scorpio square in the Leo North Node. So again, I said that Leo North Node comes into play with him being a gambler, him being a poker player. But with Venus and Scorpio, that's like people looking at him with that side eye, talking about he ain't as good as he trying to claim. Conveniently became rich at the same time that daddy's money became available to him. So that's his Mars in Capricorn trying Chiron and Taurus. That's him getting money from his father, the trust fund money. He also has that Venus in Scorpio, opposition Chiron and Taurus, which is part of that fixed Grand Cross, like I talked about, where that money was tied up for a minute. Pays hand over fist to get people to hang out with him. That's his Venus in Scorpio, opposition Chiron and Taurus. Pays hand over fist to get women to sleep with him. Venus in Scorpio, opposition Chiron and Taurus. Fails at everything he attempts in a vain attempt to look good. So again, that's Mars square Saturn. But when you throw Jupiter in there, that's like you failing big. And it can also mean that somebody is going to sue you big time, where you could end up losing everything that you have. So like I said, those legal issues, that woman, I talked about that. Bilzerian was one of those sued over debt of honor winnings that had been paid in no contract poker games by Tobey Maguire, the actor. Venus is Scorpio square in Leo North Node. And then he actually paid $1 million to a film producer to have time in a film. And it was only 8 minutes of screen time and 80 words of dialogue. But then they cut it down to, I forget, they really chopped it up. He only ended up with 1 minute in the movie of screen time and just one line. So the way, him basically paying to get into that film role, that again is Venus and Scorpio, opposition Chiron and Taurus. But then the legal concerns involving that Mars square Jupiter and Saturn in Libra. So he was banned from a Miami nightclub for kicking model Vanessa Castano in the face during a brawl. Bilzerian stated that Castano and another woman attacked Bilzerian's female companion. Castano stated, "There were 2 girls standing next to me at the table that were fighting. People started getting shoved and I tried to separate them. Then Dan pushed me off the banquet, and once I fell, he kicked me in the face." So he's kicking women in the face. So again, that Venus square in the Aquarius South Node in particular, him objectifying women, him basically having no concern for these women's safety and security and things like that. Venus opposition Chiron, that Grand Cross aspect pattern. So he also got into a situation involving explosives. I mean, this man is a mess. And that's Venus opposition Chiron. I'm not going to read all this for lack of time. And then he got into another situation with the CEO of his company, or the president of his company, where he wanted the president to basically pad the expense accounts with his own personal expenses, including the home that he was renting that he claimed that he owned. So again, all of that is that fixed Grand Cross aspect pattern. His legal issues represented by Mars in Capricorn, square Jupiter and Saturn in Libra. The Mars in Capricorn in this case is representing the president of his company, Curtis Hefferman, and how he ended up suing him. He was also there at the Las Vegas shooting. So remember, a few years ago, there was this shooting in Las Vegas at a concert. Well, Dan Bilzerian was there, and he wanted to intervene. He wanted to play the role of the hero. So that could be very Sun conjunct Neptune, wanting to be this hero type of person. And he basically was harassing a cop, asking the cop for his gun so that he could help out. Some weird ass shit. So disputed wealth claims. So Bilzerian claims that his wealth is the outcome of a successful gambling career. However, this claim has been disputed by various people, including in a widely seen video, professional poker player Doug Polk. Some have speculated that Bilzerian's wealth was instead inherited from his father, corporate takeover specialist Paul Bilzerian. Paul was convicted of various security law violations in 1989, and in 1993 was ordered to pay over $30 million of his allegedly illegal profits to the SEC. Paul did not pay the money, having filed for bankruptcy in 1991, and then again in 2001. Paul set up a trust fund for his two children, Dan and Adam. Dan's funds became accessible in 2010 when he turned 30. And that's what I was talking about, him being a wild animal trapped in a cage, waiting for that trust fund to become available to him. And once it became available to him, he was able to break out of the cage, and he just went wild. A judge in 2001 accused Paul Bilzerian of hiding his assets in various companies and trusts, including a trust fund for his children. The 2001 bankruptcy judgment showed that in 1997, Dan and Adam's trust was worth around $12 million in symmetric stock, which was meant to be split evenly between the two sons. So again, all of that is dealing with the Venus and Scorpio squaring the nodes, opposing Chiron, Chiron squaring the Leo North node, squaring the Aquarius South node, him having Sun in Sagittarius, quincunx Chiron and Taurus. Also Mars semi-square Uranus and Scorpio. So him lying about the property that he was renting, he tried to say he owned it, but it was actually in his company's name and they were paying for the rent. And basically that's Moon, quincunx Chiron and Taurus, Mars semi-square Uranus and Scorpio. The funniest thing is he paid T-Pain. Well, I don't know if he paid T-Pain, but he ended up, T-Pain recorded a song called Dan Bilzerian. And I'm pretty sure he paid T-Pain to record that song. So he had the drug issues, and that's very Sun conjunct Neptune. And then the heart attacks can be seen through Sun, quincunx Chiron and Taurus. So him basically getting a song, Dan Bilzerian by T-Pain, that's that Venus opposition Chiron and Taurus, because like I said, I believe that he paid T-Pain for that. But yeah, that's Dan Bilzerian. He is an egomaniac, narcissist, overblown ego, can't get enough, and because he got Mars square Saturn, he could easily fall flat on his face. So yeah. All right, next, dark side of Sagittarius. Just 1 second. I'm just going to have to pull it up from here. It's no sense. Now, this is one of the darkest of the dark. Who's that, y'all? Anybody know who this is? I might have to do part 2 because I'm already starting to lose my momentum. Yep, Nene got it. Ted Bundy. Yep, madam. Yep, Karen. He's one of the darkest Sagittarius you're going to get. And he was ultra violent, which dark-sided Sagittarius can be. So let me just pull up his story real quick. We're not going to get too deep into this, but we are going to take a little look at his chart. So Theodore Robert Bundy, born November 24th, 1946, was an American serial killer who kidnapped, raped, and murdered numerous young women and girls during the 1970s and possibly earlier. After more than a decade of denials, he confessed to 30 homicides committed in 7 states between 1974 and 1978. His true victim total is unknown and could be much higher. So let me pull up his chart, and as I read his story, I'm going to talk about what's in his chart that represents this. Now, part of the reason why Ted Bundy was able to lure these women into his car was he wasn't a bad-looking guy. So that always helps murderer, a sadistic serial killer. It really does help in terms of, appeal, having some type of appeal. Hold on. I'm trying to share my screen, but it kind of froze. So give me a minute. But let me read about him. Bundy was regarded as handsome and charismatic, traits that he exploited to win the trust of victims and society. Great, my share screen is loading. It's stuck. He typically approaches victims in public places, feigning injury or disability, or impersonating an authority figure. So he said he would feign disability. That's some sick shit. Or feigning injury. That's very much his ascendant semi-squared Neptune, where he was doing that shit. And then he also had Mercury semi-squared Neptune, and with Neptune being in Libra. So him basically in impersonating an authority figure, that's very much ascendant in Leo semi-squared Neptune. Again, I'm trying to share my screen, but it's stuck. Damn. How do I get off of this? All right, I hope y'all can still hear me, because my whole screen is just like kind of faded out right now, because I might have to do a Control-Alt-Delete real quick to get this to stop. So it says he would typically approach his victims in public places, feigning injury or disability, or impersonating an authority figure before knocking them unconscious and taking them to secondary locations to rape and strangle them. He sometimes revisited his victims, grooming and performing sexual acts with the decomposing bodies. Until putrefaction and destruction by wild animals made any further interactions impossible. Now, when somebody is dealing with like putrefying bodies and like decay, going back into the dead body, you got to look for Scorpio with that. Now, again, he's a Sagittarius, but he also has a stellium in Scorpio. Hold on, I'm gonna have to do a Control-Alt-Delete because this is acting stupid. I hope it doesn't shut me off. Okay. All right, how do I get rid of this? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to yeah, my share screen is frozen. And I'm not even seeing where I could get rid of it on the task manager without shutting down StreamYard. That's messed up. I can't even share my screen right now, and I can't even really see. It's like really faded out. How do I get rid of this? Just my luck. All right, I'm just going to have to talk, and I won't be able to share my screen, unfortunately. So Ted Bundy, he had Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Chiron in Scorpio. So he had some heavy Scorpio energy combined with heavy Sagittarius energy because he had Sun, South Node, Mars, and Moon in Sagittarius. Mars is conjoined to the Moon in Sagittarius and the South Node. That Moon conjunct Mars can basically make him very violent towards women, but also him looking at women as mere sex objects. Also, when I see that Mars conjunct Moon, that makes me like look at a man that wants to devour women, basically. Not, your average man, but some weirdo psycho like Ted Bundy type of man. And he got Mars in Sagittarius conjoined to the South Node in Sagittarius. That is part of what makes him ultra violent. Yeah, he sure did have that smirk. But he didn't have anything in Aquarius. Let me see what his Uranus is doing. But yeah, this dude, the Scorpio energy, that's where the death theme is coming in. And that's where, he's so sick, he wants to have sex with these dead bodies. So it says he decapitated at least 12 victims and kept some of the severed heads as mementos in his apartment. Oh my God. Oh my God, that Moon conjunct Mars, that could be in the most sickest type of way. He's collecting heads because Mars rules heads. The Moon is home, but also collections, what you're collecting. And then the Moon is ruling the 12th house. Oh my God. This, he was one of the sickest, most depraved individuals. And like I said, Sagittarius, they can't get enough, so that it can explain why he was going back to the scene of the crime, because he couldn't get enough. He couldn't get enough of that feeling that he was getting when he was killing these women. So it says he decapitated at least 12 victims and kept some of the severed heads as mementos in his apartment. On a few occasions, he broke into dwellings at night and bludgeoned his victims as they slept. In 1975, Bundy was arrested and jailed in Utah for aggravated kidnapping and attempted criminal assault. He then became a suspect in a progressively longer list of unsolved homicides in several states. Facing murder charges in Colorado, he engineered 2 dramatic escapes and committed further assaults in Florida. That's right. He was an escape artist and he was good at it. So that points to him having Saturn conjunct Pluto in the 12th, because the 12th house is escape. And then Saturn and Pluto is making trines with Mars and the South Node in Sagittarius. Hell yeah, him being an escape artist. Those are those trines right there. Also, he had Neptune trine North Node in Gemini. That's him escaping out of that window in the courthouse that one time. That's what that's representing. So he had that ability to evade the authorities. He also had Saturn and Pluto in Leo, making a sextile with Neptune and Libra. Very positive aspects in his case in terms of his ability to escape and evade the law. And he doesn't have a grand trine in his chart, but he does have a lot of trines that basically facilitated his killings. Okay, this screen is really bugging me. It's going to make me stop this live stream early because I can't deal with this. Again, like I said, my screen is like damn near whited out. You know how it is when something's like stuck loading? It's like the share screen is stuck loading and I can barely see the chat and I'm getting irritated, especially because it's that time in the month. I might have to do a part 2, y'all. And I could do it as early as tomorrow night because I got a lot of free time now. Now that I'm done the written natal chart reports. So I might as well make this announcement now. For the written natal chart reports, I won't be doing any more of those until I don't know how long. I'll still do some by special request, but it has to be a special request. And the good thing is now that I'm going to put the written natal charts to the side because they take up so much time and energy. And that's why you don't see me on YouTube that much. But now that I'm done with the written natal chart readings for the year and going into the new year, you'll be able to see me on YouTube much more often. I'm looking forward to being more present on YouTube and doing more case studies again. I don't know if I'm going to do the New Year's Eve party that I do annually. I'll see how I feel, but I do have something coming up this month that's very important that might not make it feasible for me to do the New Year's Eve party. See, and I can't even see if somebody's sending me a super chat or nothing. Like, so I might have to end this live stream early. But like I said, I can be back tomorrow. I'm trying to think, but it also depends on how I feel, because it is that, and it is my birthday tomorrow, which is today for some of y'all right now. So I don't know how I'll feel, but I could definitely go live again within the next couple of days, if not tomorrow. Yeah, there's going to have to be a part 2 because, and again, I can't get off of this screen. I would have to shut down a live stream and then open up a whole new live stream. And I don't feel like doing all that. And I do want to kind of just chill for my birthday weekend, if y'all don't mind. But yeah, I'm thinking about closing out real soon. And it's probably for a good reason too. Maybe the universe wants me to just chill at this point, because I am getting kind of tired. But thank you everybody for your birthday wishes. Indigo, if you're still listening, I'm going to bring you on in part 2 so we could discuss, you know, who that we were talking about. But yeah, the universe obviously wants me to just take it easy and get some rest. And like I said, I'm so stoked that I'm done with the written natal chart readings, but I'm still offering video natal chart readings. You can always get a natal chart reading from me via phone. I can't even type in the my website address because I can't type, I can't chat or nothing because of this screen is stuck. But yeah, I'm still offering video natal chart readings, phone natal chart readings via phone. I'm still offering mini natal chart readings, which I call the astrological profile. So you could go on my website and order that because that's much shorter. I'm still offering written solar returns and written synastry reports. So yeah, the only thing that I'm putting a hold on is the written natals. And I've done that before when things have gotten to be too much and too overwhelming. So I'm just looking forward to posting a lot more. Look, I can't even see y'all super chats no more. I mean, not super chats, your comments. All I see is just blank. Yeah, so let me just end this now. I don't even know how to end it without, I'm going to just have to shut down my whole Chrome. So good night, y'all. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats, for the birthday love, all that. And I will see y'all soon. Take care. I guess I just have to hit this task manager to just close down Chrome, period. All right, bye, y'all.